everybody, Meredith here. It's Wednesday and it's 1 o'clock and I'm in town and not on the road. So it's Website Wednesdays with Meredith. How is everybody? Hope you're doing great. Today we are talking about websites, of course, but today we're going to talk about the least sexy, least interesting part of your website, but maybe, just maybe, the most important part of your website, and that is your CMS. CMS, not PMS, that's something else. CMS, it stands for Content Management System, your content management system. So I want to ask you, first of all, how easily can you update your own website? This is a big issue for people, and a lot of clients that come to us, one of the main reasons they come to us and say, hey, we're looking at perhaps, building a new website or doing something different. And one of the main reasons is because they can't update it themselves. And they're super frustrated by that. When you can't update your own website easily, or you don't have enough access to be able to update what you need, you find yourself really kind of locked out of what is perhaps arguably your best marketing tool. So a CMS, content management system, this is something you need to be educated about and ask a lot of questions when you're considering building a new website with a company, and really find out what kind of CMS they use, how much access to the CMS will you have, what will it allow you to update and change. So I like to think of a website in two parts. The first part is what we call the front end. So the front end is the part of the website that users see. Users see this. It's the graphics, it's the copy, it's the video, it's the pictures, whatever. Well, that front end of the website is being driven by the second part of the two parts of a website. And that second part is called the back end. And in more technical terms, that's called a CMS. The back end system, or the CMS, is what drives the engine. It's the engine of the entire website, and it's what drives it. So ask 5 website experts, get 5 different answers on what kind of CMS is best for you. So I'll give you my opinion. It's going to be worth what you paid for it. Although after 17 years in the business and probably thousands of websites launched at this point, I can definitely say what works best for our clients. So that's what I'm going to recommend to you. So what kind of choices, what kind of options do you have when it comes to a website backend administration system? Okay. So first option number 1 is what's called an open source. Open source means that the code for that backend system's readily available on the web. Any developer can use that code and create a website with it. Probably the most popular open source type of CMS is called WordPress. And initially WordPress was developed really just to run blogs, the blog sites. I don't know if you remember, but in the old days, we had websites, and then we didn't even have blogs yet. That didn't exist. And then blogging became a thing. So we all went and built separate WordPress blogs, and a lot of it, we did for free. As far as the platform itself, you could use the free version of WordPress, is what I mean, and set up your blog, and it connect to your website. Boom, there you go. You are off and running. So today, WordPress is actually an entire site management system, and it works really well and has some really good pros and a few cons. So we'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute. So open source is your first option. Second option is a proprietary content management system. Proprietary meaning that the company or agency that you're looking at working with, it's something they've built themselves. It's probably in HTML, but you should ask further, is it PHP? Is it ASP? What kind of code is it that's built it? And how many users do they have currently supporting it? Is it customized to your particular industry? Many of the times when we get a new client, it's because they've been on a proprietary CMS. Remember, we specialize in home building industry. And so they've been on a proprietary CMS that was simply too generic to manage the complicated data set of a small volume to large volume production home builder. And they say it just drove us crazy. We couldn't make a change and it applied to every plan with that same name. We had to make the change in 5 different places because none of the data connected. Because most of the time with a proprietary CMS, it's going to be built in a way where the data, it's really just managing content on a page, as opposed to building an entire database that all relates to each other, where you can manage, say, a floor plan or an inventory home in one place and it update all of the places, all of the pages at once. So proprietary CMS is a second option. It's been built in-house by that team. And if it's proprietary and it's specialized to your industry, great. There's nothing wrong with a proprietary CMS. It's just a lot of times it may not be customized to you, or it may cost big bucks to customize it to you. Third option on the CMS is a shared platform, shared CMS type of situation where one platform controls all of the changes to all of the sites. So it's really more of a feed. And so it's not that your individual website has its own unique standalone content management system. It's sharing it across a number of sites. Okay, so those are really your 3 options. And what you pay greatly varies based on which of the 3 options you look at. All right, so if you're just joining us, it's Website Wednesdays. I'm talking website content management CMS options today. And I'm talking about how do you select and choose the right way to manage your website. Because there really is a right way for you. I'm not going to say a blanket statement for everybody, but there really is a right way and a best way to make sure that your site is being managed optimally. And of course, that's going to vary among several criteria. So here are some criteria for you to consider and for you to ask your potential website company when you're trying to decide, should we go open source? Should we go proprietary? Should we go with shared? Okay, number 1, how much bandwidth do you, the marketing coordinator, or whomever on your team will be making the changes to the website, how much bandwidth do they really have? Is this a case where you are going to struggle to have the time to make even the most basic changes, a price change, or remove a product that's no longer offered, or update the news and events page with your latest launch or offering? If you're going to struggle to have the time to make even the most basic changes, or if you are going to struggle technically, let's say your gift really is not technology, and you're a person that still calls to make your hotel reservations, do them online, you prefer your local shop over Prime. I get it. I'm not judging, but let's be real, that's your skill set. In those cases, a shared CMS, which is going to be probably more basic and give you less access to the total website, would be ideal for you, because it's really going to be kind of bare bones as far as what you can change and what you can access. So if your skill level or time level is low, then the simpler, the better for you. I was talking to somebody recently at a conference that just said, look, I needed a website on a budget. I have very little time. I'm a staff of one. There is not a lot of content we're going to be producing or creating. And so this particular company had gone with a shared platform. When people in the office complain about the website, this person says, look, for the money and the time, this is the best fit for us. And they're very realistic about what their needs are. So do I consider that wrong or no? It's a fit. It's a win-win. That's perfect. Okay. So technical ability and time, both are big factors in what you're looking for. Okay. So if you want more control, if you've got some team members that really have some technical skill, or you have an agency, a partner agency that's going to do ongoing digital marketing of your website, and it's not the company who built the website, then the best CMS option for you is going to be that open source option. Okay, why? An open source CMS, say WordPress, for example, is widely used. It's widely known. We converted from a proprietary to a WordPress exclusively several years ago, simply because we got so many requests. Do you all do WordPress? Do you do WordPress? Do you do WordPress? It happened so many times that I finally had to look around at the development team and go, I think we've got to make a major change. And it was a huge change to transition all of our existing clients onto the new platform, and then from then on, build in that new platform. The reason that we kept getting requests for it was because people know it. People know WordPress, for example. So they have experience on another site using it, maybe on their blog. They get it. They know, they already come into it knowing how to create a new page, how to create a new navigation menu, how to upload a video, how to create whatever. So that's always a plus. So if you're looking for your team in-house to have the most control, or for a marketing agency who didn't build the site and is going to need access, complete access to a site, then your best bet's going to be an open source CMS, and it's something that they're familiar with. I call it like the Ford of engines. You know, a WordPress is like a Ford in that it's common, as opposed to a Ferrari that only one mechanic shop in town can work on. I know this because in the 90s, my parents owned a Saab. Oh yeah, we were those people. We had a black 4-door Saab with a moon roof. We thought we were the coolest people ever, tooling around Orlando, Florida in our Saab. And there was only one mechanic in town who could work on the thing. I still remember it to this day. It had rose, not rose gold, like rose pink interior. It was black on the outside with rose colored interior. What? Yeah, that's a throwback for you. Anyway, so when you're talking to them, look for that. If you're looking for the most amount of control, you want to publish a new blog post every week. You want to create photo galleries on the fly. You have an agency you want to hire to do deep dive SEO or Google AdWords or Facebook, and they're going to need access to the website to be able to do that. Customize WordPress or open source CMS is going to be perfect for that. All right, so then you got proprietary. That's our second option. Where does that fall? Well, that's where you're going to have to really buyer beware, because the proprietary CMS, since that particular website company has developed it, it could vary widely from company to company as to how much access and control over your website that it gives you. I mean, widely. So you're going to need a deep dive demo on that. Ask a lot of questions about what you think you might want or need access to, and then go from there. For me, I think if you're in a very specific industry, kind of a hybrid approach works the best. So a WordPress open source content management system that's familiar, but that has also been customized to the specific needs of your business. That's what we do. So we've got a proprietary plugin for home builders that we've created that allows them to manage their plans, their inventory, their communities, everything very easily within the wrapper of WordPress, which is super easy for most people to use. So it's kind of a hybrid approach. Okay. So either way, I hope what you're hearing is there's not really a wrong option. It's knowing what you can really use, what you're capable of doing, what you want to be doing. I can tell you best practice gold standard in terms of your website is absolutely 100%. The more you update it, the more you make changes to it, the more photos, videos, copy, everything you add to it, the more that you really make it your own, the better the site will do in converting leads to sales, period. The more that you rely on another company to do that for you, depending on who they are and how they operate, you're probably losing opportunities. So definitely gold standard is to be in there and really customizing that site constantly. But if you don't have the bandwidth for that, if you don't have the staff for it, and it's not going to happen, then you probably don't need to pay for a site that has that kind of capability. You probably could go with, as this person I was talking to frankly said, this is what we're capable of, this is what we could afford, so this is what we do. And I think that's fair, right? As with all things, keeping your end goal and capabilities in mind and being realistic about that, okay? So whether you go open source, whether you go shared, or you go proprietary, just know what the three are. Know that those are the basic categories they fall into. And then, as I talked about on the last one I did a couple weeks ago, the big piece is understanding, do you even own any of this when it's all said and done? So with an open source WordPress type of site, typically you have a lot of access, and depending on how the contract reads, you own the site, you can move the site, you can host the site where you want to, but never make that assumption. Nail that down at the beginning of the project and get it in writing. If it's a proprietary platform that an agency has invested in and spent money to build, they're not just going to give it to you to go and move it and take it somewhere else. That's highly unlikely. So you need to know that, and if that's important to you, negotiate that up front. But I doubt that you give out if you're in a business, I highly doubt you give out the product specs, detail of how you do your product and to your client so that they can go and give it to your competitor. So if you think about it that way, it kind of makes sense. And if you're on a shared platform, shared type of CMS, you absolutely you've got nothing in terms of the back end. If you were to leave that provider, you could maybe get your front end design files, but you would be starting over in terms of loading all your content and so forth. But again, at your budget amount, that might be the best option for you. So a question I get pretty frequently is, well, where does site builders like Wix, GoDaddy, Squarespace, one-in-one, where does that stuff fall? And basically, those are the third option. That's that shared type of platform. So those are subscriptions. As long as you pay the bill every month, you've got a website, you've got an ability to make some changes with their editor. But once you leave that service, that's it. There's nothing there that an actual asset that you own. If you're a small enough business, that might make sense. But if you're a business that's investing any kind of money in SEO, AdWords, Facebook, Instagram, email marketing, retargeting, those sites are not going to give you enough control to be able to properly do ongoing digital marketing. And so they're a great place to start if you're an entrepreneur, a solopreneur. But once you advance up to having employees and a team of people and a set of products, it's time for you to move up. And you'll need to do that to really market yourself the most effectively. All right, I've got a couple updates for you. I will be places I'm going to be in the next couple of weeks. Really excited to be presenting at McCann. That's the agency network group, MCAN. You can Google that. So happens that their national meeting is right here in the Triangle in May. And I'm going to present and just tell it all about my experience as the owner, founder, creative director of a digital marketing agency. And I'm going to get to meet other agency leaders from all over the country. And I'm sure I'm going to learn more from them than I am going to teach them. But I'm really excited to be part of it. June the 7th, if you are in Southwest Florida, I will be with the Collier Building Industry Association, the Collier BIA. And June 7th, Quail West Country Club. I'm presenting fantastic marketing and selling, of course. And I would love to see you there. If you'll Google Collier BIA and go to their events page, you can find the June 7th event and you can get registered. If you're in the Triangle area here in Raleigh-Durham, I am teaching the CSP, Certified Speaking Professional, CE course. June, let me look at my board, June 12th and 13th. June 12th and 13th, CSP. It's a great class to get up to date on your new home sales skills. And you know, if I'm going to be there all day, I'm going to make it fun because I don't want to be bored either. So that's going to be great. And then I got the most amazing news the other day. I haven't even told anybody this. Well, two people. I told Alan and Megan, our SEO coordinator. I actually was selected to speak at MozCon. Moz, M-O-Z, Con is an SEO conference put on by the company Moz. I am a loyal Moz user, subscriber. We use their tools exclusively to manage all of our clients' SEO. And I submitted for open call for submissions and I got selected. So I get to go not only speak, but I get to go for 3 days and learn from the best of the best in the world on SEO. And I am beside myself. So that's, let me look, July 8th through the 12th. I'll be doing that. And then lastly, August 11th through the 14th, I'll be in Long Beach, California for the NAHB Association Management Conference. I'm going to teach 2 classes there. 1 on how to sell out your events, and 2 on how to streamline, organize, and leverage your social media. And both of those are for association leaders. So that's my calendar. That's where I'll be. If you want to know more about us, what we do, meredithcommunications.com. You can learn about our digital marketing services for home builders. You can learn about my speaking business, and I speak and keynote at all kinds of conferences on sales and marketing. And of course, if you don't know it, I'm really into shoes, and you can always follow my high heel, sometimes cool kicks shoe collection on Instagram at Meredith's. So that's Meredith plural, Meredith's Shoes 22. So that is Website Wednesdays, talking about CMSs, whether you go open source, proprietary, or shared It's really up to you and what your goals are. I hope that by outlining these options, I've made it a little easier for you, and you can be a little more informed the next time you go start a website project. All right, thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you next Wednesday, 1 o'clock. Have a great week.